Hey, you guys, thanks for listening into this episode of Tips with T. On today, we're going to talk about money for millennials, the unique challenges and opportunities for this generation. Um, there are opportunities, there are challenges, and we're going to try to overcome the challenges and we're going to try to grasp the opportunity. This episode talks about millennials, and they are born between 1981 and 1996, which may face financial landscapes that vastly different from our previous generation. So, from student debt and rising living costs to side hustles and digital investing, this episode explores the unique money challenges millennials face and the powerful financial opportunities they can tap into, whether you're navigating your first big purchase or trying to build long-term wealth. This episode is packed with practical tips. So we're going to dive into the tips. Like I said, um, talk about millennials. Things are very different now. For us millennials, we are battling with inflation. We are battling with a judicial system that is not really for the working class and the middle class, but there's still ways that we can overcome the challenges and take advantage of certain opportunities, even with education. I remember me talking to someone who is like older, very older than me, and she was like back in school, it didn't cost her that much to go back in school and get her degree. Where she sent her son to school, she thought um the price for tuition was ridiculous. And she was just like, it had done doubled since I don't even know what she said double, but she said it had done skyrocket um the cost of tuition by the time it was time for her to put her son through college. And so yeah, times have definitely changed. So some key things that we're going to discuss, or one of the key things we're going to discuss is the millennial money mindset. So millennials are often labeled as financially behind, but many are redefining wealth in their own terms, right? And so with that being said, um, they have value experiences, flexibility, and purpose-driven work, high level of financial anxiety, but also high resourceful and tech savvy. Number two is unique financial challenges like student debt, a major burden of many millennials affecting home ownership and retirement savings, and then averaging borrow over owes over $30,000 in student loans because school is just it has got very expensive to go and get a degree. So with that being said, I try to encourage people if they cannot go and get a degree, at least go and get a trade, okay, and something welding, lineman, cosmetology, something, okay. Um, again, rising living costs. So, stagnant wages versus rapidly increasing rent, healthcare, and educational costs. We are still, I know, in the state of North Carolina, the minimum wage is still $7.25. Why? I have no earthly idea when inflation and gas and everything has completely went up. All right. So they're dealing with that too as well. A lot of our millennials are experiencing delayed milestones. So they're delayed in buying a house or getting married, having children. Those things are happening later or being skipped entirely due to financial instability. And there's nothing wrong, you guys, with doing things later the older that you get, because sometimes you're not mature enough to handle those type of things. And that's completely okay. Everybody's time is different, okay? Just want to throw that out there. Um, a gig economy and job insecurity. So less job stability, more freelancing and contract work is available, right? Um, I try to tell people, especially my different coaching clients, like even though you might be working for a company that's still not job stability in the economy that we live in, um, things can happen. Things can happen throughout our government, and where they no longer have funding or they file bankruptcy and you're out of a job and you're looking again. So there's really not a whole lot of job sustainability. All right. So that's why I also highly recommend for people to have multiple streams of income. Social media pressure. So, constant exposure to um, certain lifestyle leads to comparative spending or impulse buying. And then there are unique financial opportunities um, that millennials can take advantage of, which basically are tech-driven investing, right? And so we're going to talk about those. So millennials are leading the way with apps like Robinhood, Acorn, and Ability. Um, they are easy access to ETFs, fractional shares, and crypto with caution. There's the side hustle culture. This generation excels at monetizing skills like freelance work, e-commerce, consulting, and more. A lot of people are building a side hustle off of being an online influencer. If it works for you, use it. Value-based investing and spending. So strong interest in ESG, so environmental, social, and government investing, supporting ethical brands and aligning money with personal values. Um, Access to free financial education. So blogs, podcasts, YouTube channels, and social media platforms offer financial info that previous generations did not have to access. So there's more free resources out there for different millennials to utilize where it wasn't like that before. I know there's certain college institutions that you might could look into that are two now are giving away free certifications. I know Howard University was doing it, not Howard, Harvard University was doing it, to where they were giving away free certifications. So if you want to look into that, look into that. That might be something you might be interested in. It's completely free. Smart money moves for millennials like building an emergency fund. So I try to tell my clients, my students that I coach, start with at least $500 to $1,000 and build towards 3 to 6 months of expenses. Use highly yield savings accounts. That's the thing too. If you can get that or find those, take advantage of those as well. Pay down debt strategically. So use the avalanche method or a snowball method to eliminate high interest debts with the highest interest rates. Refinance or consolidate loans where appropriate. So if you have a child or if you are a student and you have graduated and you know you had student loans, you might want to consolidate those loans to be eligible to apply for a income-driven repayment loan or loan forgiveness plan. So keep that too in mind too as well. Smart investing early. So use an employer 401k match if available. So if you are working on a job that offers the 401k, take advantage of that. Open a Roth IRA, perfect for a younger earners with low tax brackets. So open a IRA. Um, Even if you are an entrepreneur, you can still have an IRA. Okay, so open a IRA. Automate everything. Okay. So automate savings, bill payments, and investment contributions. Keep things consistent and build momentum. I tell my clients this when we're doing their financial planning. If there's some type of bills that you know that comes out every month or that has to be paid every month, like your rent, like your car payment, like insurance, automate those things out of a checking account and make sure you just have a checking account just to pay your bills out of and make sure every month that you have enough money in that bank account to cover your expenses and that way you know that your bills are going to get paid because it's going to be automatically paid or drafted throughout that account, right? Because if we try to do sometimes we try to do things and pay bills as they come, but then we forget and we can miss the bill and then that how we run into late payments and run into missed payments and all this other type of stuff, but we don't want to do that. So if you can automate a bill. Okay. Save less time and money. Think outside traditional wealth plans. So think outside the box. So explore house hacking, co-investing, or using side hustles for down payments. Wealth doesn't have to follow a cookie cutter path. I try to tell people now that we're living in a society that there's a lot of opportunities that's going to be out there due to a lot of cuts, where it comes from the government and where a lot of places are going to lose a lot of funding. This is a good time for you to go out there and start the business where it comes to cleaning, when it comes to education. Some people might be wanting to look into putting their kids into an in-home school or a private school. You can open up a daycare center, open up a healthcare center for the retired, retirement people or the people who needs medical assistance. So a healthcare facility. There's different types of areas, you guys, that you can take advantage of during this time to start that business. Just go and look at the different areas. Excuse me, y'all. Just go look at the different areas where the funding is being cut. That will be an opportunity for you if you're interested to start a business in that area. Okay. Um, it's time for us to build back our communities. It's time for us to stand up and stand in the gap where there would be no more government assistance in our community. So how can you start a business to help fulfill that need in your community? Okay, keep that in mind. So the tools and some resources, we talked about budgeting tools, so like the Mint, Rocket Money apps, debt payoff. So Undeaded, Tally, investing, the different investing apps, Robinhood, um, Vanguard, Better, Betterment, Education, the financial debt, her first 100K, Clever, Girl Finance. I guess those are different things you can look at. Different side hustles like Fiverr, Etsy, Upwork. Those are different platforms that you can put your side hustles on. Y'all might want to look into that. And so you never know, you guys, like where you can actually um start making money if you don't look. I know one thing for me is that I use as a passive income. I use I create ebooks, okay, digital marketing products, and I use a software called PayHip, and I upload my um ebooks on there. You can also put ebooks on Etsy, if I'm not mistaken. I have used Etsy before, but now I typically use PayHip. So there's different ways you can make passive income, you guys, and use that money um to help you to be able to stay afloat or to build wealth. Okay. So, of course, you guys, I got to give you some accountable action. So, I need for you guys to identify one financial goal this year. Example of paying off your credit card or saving $1,000, paying off your car, whatever. Identify one financial goal and then start automating one small financial habit this week. And then explore one new income stream or money app that fits your lifestyle. It has to fit your lifestyle so you can be comfortable with it and so you can keep going with it, right? So you won't lose interest in it and you won't just put it down. So find an extra money stream, um, an extra source to make money. Okay. So and if you want to go out there and get like different ideas about what you can do, like I said, Fiverr is a good one that you can go there and listen, see what type of freelance services are up there. Care.com is a good website that you can see the different services that are listed there. And maybe you can even sign yourself up for these different platforms. If you are a babysitter, if you are a in-home aid, if you are a tutorer, if you are a pet sitter, a housekeeper, you can register yourself on different platforms in order to make additional income. Okay. So millennials are facing real challenges, but they also have un um precedented tools and access to financial empowerment. With the right strategies and mindset, it is impossible. It's possible, not impossible. It's possible to build a security and meaningful financial future. All right, so I hope this episode was helpful to you guys. I hope y'all was able to take some tips back. Make sure you share this episode with a fellow millennial or tag us with your biggest financial win that you have this year. But there's opportunities that you can still win during this economy that we're in today. Okay. All right. So just because the world might be going through doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go through. There's ways that you can be smart with your money, be smart with your finances, and still survive. Okay. So, all right, you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and we will see you on the next episode of Tips with T.